Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to Wolfsburg, Germany. We're in the heart of Volkswagen, and it's actually our last day with our trusty Volkswagen Arteon e-hybrid. And this one's the shooting brake, it's the wagon. Most of you probably have no idea Volkswagen even sells the Arteon in America. I don't even think Volkswagen knows, to be honest. They've sold 150 for the entire year up to this point, 6 months worth of sales in 2022. So I don't even think they know they sell it, but it's an awesome car, but it's got a massive problem. It's a plug-in hybrid. And in Germany, plug-in hybrids aren't working. For effect, I've plugged it into a charging station. Funny thing about charging in Europe actually is you bring your own cable with you. And in the US, we're used to having all the cables on the units. Here, you roll up to a station without any cables, which I think makes it look less cluttered, a little bit nicer. And then you're ultimately responsible for your own cable. Should also cut down on copper theft and other things like that. And we're charging up, great. So no issues there. The Arteon I want to talk about just briefly, and then I want to talk about Germany's plug-in hybrid disaster. This is an awesome car. Essentially, probably the nicest car Volkswagen makes, stepped down from the Touareg. But, you know, they no longer make the Phaeton. The Arteon is like the new luxury Volkswagen cruiser. What's funny is every other car in Wolfsburg is an Arteon because they're all company cars. And I think that the entire population of Arteons in this town must directly equal the entire population of Arteons for the rest of the planet. But I've really come to like this thing. We've put, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers on this plug-in hybrid wagon, and on paper it kind of sounds like everything you would want. And actually for our trip, it's been everything we wanted. We're able to plug it in when we can, and we get, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40 kilometers of driving. It has fantastic electric acceleration. When you put your foot down, it juices up. We have a whole video of this car ripping around the Nürburgring, talking about how it drives and all that stuff. It's been really interesting. And it's a wagon that's electrified. It has a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine up front. It has a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, which is interesting because most dual clutches from Volkswagen are 7-speed, but it works really well. Sits at 240 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn like nothing, super stable, really good brakes, great handling, and then the spacing and sizing, it's nice. It's got a massaging driver's seat. It's just been a nice filming companion. I'll just show you. So it's covered in bugs, covered in dirt. Again, we've been filming out of this car for 2 weeks. We're just swapping it out for another vehicle, but want to say a huge thanks to Volkswagen for loaning us this so we can bring all of our Europe content to you. This has just been the camera car this trip, and man, have we covered some miles. We've been in, I think, 3 different countries with it. It's been wonderful. So nothing bad to say about the Arteon other than it's a bit, you know, not exciting. It just is a competent cruiser, good company executive car if you work for Volkswagen or if you need a filming vehicle. But here's the problem. In Germany, there are so many incentives to drive an electric vehicle, and in other countries as well. And so I'll name one of these incentives as an example, but it doesn't mean it's for all of them. If you get a company car, for example, let's say you work for Volkswagen and you want to get a company lease, you usually pay 1% of your MSRP per month. So if a car is 80,000 euros, you pay 800 euros per month on your lease. If it's a plug-in hybrid, this is just my understanding, it's 0.5. So if it's an 80,000 euro car, you pay 400 bucks a month to lease it. That's pretty incredible. If it's fully electric, it's 0.25, so it's even less than that. The problem is, to qualify as a plug-in hybrid, you only need a little tiny range, not a lot of electric power, and no one's plugging them in. This is the big problem. The government's hugely incentivizing plug-in hybrids. Okay, so we see like every version of every car, like every Mercedes around is a plug-in hybrid, every Volkswagen's got a plug on it. In the US, we get almost no plug-in hybrids. I actually think it's probably the best solution for us, for our market. But for here, you would think, okay, well, you could do your driving 40 miles a day, 30 miles a day electric, and then it switched to combustion for longer trips. So your commute should be electric. Here's the problem with that. A lot of times these company leases, and again, just one example of some of the problem, a lot of times these company leases come with a gas card, so you get free gas. So why would I pay to put electricity in it at my house? And workplace charging is not as big of a thing here as it needs to be in Germany. So I don't know what the percentage is, but I would guess a significant higher than 50% percentage of plug-in hybrids on the road in Germany are just not plugged in and probably won't ever be plugged in. Now, occasionally you'll see the guys that roll up to charging stations and are always plugging in their PHEVs, people like me who want to maximize the system. And though that's cool, that's fine. But then it's like, all right, now you're clogging up a charging station because there's so many battery electric vehicles that one of those vehicles needs. Even crazier than this is, especially Mercedes is the worst offender here, and Land Rover's doing it and others. Plug-in hybrids are starting to get DC fast charging ports. Why? I have no idea. And so you'll roll up to a DC fast charger and you'll see a Mercedes CLA plugged in as they go to lunch. It's cool that they're plugging in, but it's almost like we don't want them to plug in. But then when they don't plug in, I get annoyed. It's a little bit weird. So here's been my issue with the Arteon this trip. In order to reach max speed or to have full performance, it's really important to have the electric system working with the combustion system in tandem to get the full total system power output. And this car can only achieve its maximum speed of about 243 kilometers per hour, something like this, when there's juice in the battery pack. And we've not really been wanting to clog up chargers, and it's been difficult to even activate half the chargers around here. And so what I've actually been doing is I've been very rarely driving this car in electric mode. I actually drive it in GTE mode, which targets a rapid charge of the battery pack so that when I go full acceleration on the Autobahn or on a back road, everything works together to give me maximum power. And as soon as I'm off throttle, braking, or sort of cruising, it targets to charge off the combustion engine. And that's less efficient, of course. So there's the plug-in hybrid problem. I mean, it's a really quick video. The Arteon, fantastic. We have other videos on this car. The plug-in hybrid problem here is just getting out of hand. Everyone has it, and I don't know what's happening. Now, what I hear is next year, the German incentives for plug-in hybrids are going away, and electric will stay. I bet we will see a significant drop-off in PHEVs sold here, and maybe that same production capacity will go to other markets, because PHEVs do work for some people, and they do work for some people here. Who they don't work for are people who are just getting the tax incentives and driving around not plugging it in. In that case, you're actually just hauling around more complexity, more weight, more raw material, and we have to do a test, but I bet it's less efficient, especially cruising on the highway, carrying around all that extra weight. So let me know what you think. You know, this is a case, in my opinion, of just government incentives not being used correctly and a waste of resources for some people. Other people, like us, we're trying to maximize the plug-in usefulness of the car, but then, you know, who knows? Just an open conversation about something I've noticed spending a lot of time here in Germany. So thanks so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Let me know what you think about plug-in hybrids below. And if you own one, I assume you plug it in all the time because you watch this channel. But do you see this being a problem in your market where you live, just as I'm seeing it here in Germany, where everyone just gets them as company cars, no one plugs them in, uses the free fuel card, and takes that full tax incentive for really no reason? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.